So much Christmas is popping up and I am so inspired and so excited. I am going to share with you guys my top 5 crafts from this week for Spotlight Inspiration Sunday. I will put the links down in my description for you to go and watch the full video. Welcome to my channel, Freckled Mom DIY. I'm Devin. If you're new, welcome. And if you're returning, hey, let's jump right into our first inspiration.
Now you want to grab yourself a pool noodle from Dollar Tree. Obviously,
I swear I never find pool noodles unless it's summertime. So I am going to be on the hunt for these for sure.
About this is you can attach several together to get a huge wreath, or you can cut it down to size 2 and make a smaller one, whichever size you're needing. What we're going to do is we're going to take some duct tape and we're going to duct tape the ends of this pool noodle together. I cut mine down just a little bit because I needed a smaller sized wreath. I'm using some green duct tape to attach the ends together, and then I also took that duct tape and I went all the way around the wreath so it had more of a green color. You can also just find a green pool noodle if you can, and that'll kind of save you having to do this step.
I definitely don't make enough wreaths, but I love this.
You can decorate these wreaths. You can take ornaments and glue them all the way around to cover it. You could wrap it in some garland to give it more of that greenery effect, or you can even take ribbon and hot glue that around it to cover up the wreath form.
I had picked up a bunch of wreaths at the thrift store, so I'm gonna pull them apart and see what is salvageable, and I'm gonna try to make some Christmas wreaths this year.
So obviously I covered mine in ribbon that I found at Hobby Lobby. It was on sale for only about $2, and I thought I would walk you through how to make a simple wreath bow, as a lot of bows or a lot of wreaths do have bows. So
you guys know I need all the help I can get with bows.
Loop on one side and creating the same size loop on the opposite side, but I am twisting in the center there and holding that down in the middle with my thumb so it doesn't come undone. And what that does is it will bring the pattern on your ribbon back up to the top so you can see it.
Check down in my description for the link to the full video that does not include my commentary.
4 loops on each side, and I like to do odd number loops just so I kind of have a middle section too. I'm using some coordinating smaller ribbon to tie off the center. Now the trick to this is go ahead and cut that long tail off because we're going to add a tail separately. So I'm cutting a length of ribbon here and I'm going to tie that onto the back. I left that smaller ribbon long so we could do this and also attach it onto the wreath. So our tail is actually completely separate from our bow. This will give you a little bit more room to fluff your bow and make sure your tails are looking the way you want.
I love me some dovetails. Who's with me?
A combination of hot glue and also that smaller ribbon to attach your bow onto the front of your wreath. Just making sure to tie it really tightly in the back with a few knots. I also came in with some ornaments to kind of fill up and add a little bit of extra embellishment and sparkle to this one.
This is seriously so adorable. It is so simple and so sweet, but like super high end and super cute. I am totally in love with this. I am totally doing this. I think this is just so cute. Let's get on to some Liz Fenwick. Oh my goodness.
One of these baskets from Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna cut off the handles. Next, I'm gonna use a beanie hat that they have at Dollar Tree. I'm gonna wrap it around the bottom of my container. And then I'm just going to lightly tuck it around.
I have a feeling this is gonna be cozy and adorable.
On there, I realized that it wasn't sitting flat, so I trimmed off that bottom piece and just hot glued it. Next, I'm going to hot glue a foam piece to the bottom. Next, I'm going to put in a Dollar Tree $1 tree. And once I fluff it out to make it look more full, I'm going to come in with those Dollar Tree sprigs that you can buy and just twist those around. This is going to help my tree look so much more full.
I had seen something on Pinterest that I am super excited to try, so I am loving this inspiration.
Sometimes with these trees, I like to give them a flocked appearance. I always pick up my flock spray from Walmart, but I'm sure you can buy it at other locations.
Seriously, this is adorable. I am so in love with this. And now let's get to Sammy.
Okay, this is our last one, you guys. Okay, do you see that? It's antique green. I think I was telling you guys the wrong color this entire time, but this project is so easy peasy. This is an old piece of barnwood. Again, got it absolutely free off Facebook Marketplace. And I'm going to take this folk art antique green with the chip brush. And
I definitely don't use this color that often, but it looks really nice on this wood, and Christmas is coming.
I didn't have to do any distressing. I just had to put that paintbrush over there, and the piece of wood did the work for me here. So I do end up putting a little bit more right in the middle where it's a little lighter. Kind of looked like a hole to me. So I do the sides and stuff. I don't paint the back though, because that won't be showing. Then I take my twine. At first I started with hot glue, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm probably going to be selling this either in my booth or my website.
I swear that's the trend now. I think we all have retail booths at a flea market.
No. So I cut it. I tie a double knot in there. Then I'll get my staple gun and pull tightly on that and staple that down. Do the same thing on the opposite side, and then I'll just repeat this same process on the left side as well, making sure you start with a double knot. After we're done with this, I'm going to make a hanger. So again, just taking that twine, double knotting it, and then using our staple gun.
Looks like I'm going down to Sammy's Amazon store because I need that staple gun. It looks super easy.
Of hanging it in more places without having to stick a nail in your wall. So after this, I get one of my decals. This is from the Cricut Design Access Studio.
I'm totally a cameo girl, so that's my preference, but Cricut, you know where I'm at.
Vinyl as my stencil, because like I said previously, it is it's more adhesive, and that's what I want, especially for this rough barnwood. I need it to stick. So that's why I'm using permanent vinyl.
This is super cute, so I'm definitely going to have to see what the Cameo Silhouette Studio has for Christmas.
Chalk paint, and I'm going to stencil that on. Now, I wanted this to be rustic, so I didn't go in for a second coat. I just did a very light wash of this white chalk paint. It was fine with me if I missed some spaces. That is what it's all about. And I probably should have cleared, like did the painting, cleared it, and then applied the twine. I probably still could. The twine will just harden. That's fine. Sometimes I don't think as I'm doing DIYs, I just go with the flow, but yeah.
Me too. I think that DIYs come out so much better when you're not thinking about it.
This piece of wood was, to hardly get any bleeds is amazing. And that's why I use the permanent vinyl.
Seriously, this is the cutest sign ever. It is so cute and chippy and distressed, and it is just adorable. And if you got this at a store, this would be so expensive. So definitely make your own DIYs. If you're new to my channel, welcome. We are renovating our 1925-year-old New England cottage room by room. We have some thrift flips, Dollar Tree crafts, home improvement, and so much more. If you like these kind of videos, go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. Thank you to all my current subscribers. You guys know how much I appreciate you, and thank you for being here.
All right, so for this one, I have got 2 cones that I picked up at the Dollar General store that was 2 for $1. I've also got a candlestick and a automobile towel, like the microfiber towels from the Dollar Tree. Now, the first thing I did was take my cones and I completely wrapped them with masking tape.
I love Jackie so much. If you guys haven't seen her channel yet, oh my goodness, you had to have, because she's just so amazing. Let's keep watching.
Easiest way of doing, kind of killing two birds with one stone, if you will. Now, I did cut the bottom part off of there, as you saw, just to keep it fully that cone shape, to take that square off at the bottom. I laid my towel out, cut it in half. I then kind of played around with the towel to decide how I was going to actually glue it to the cone.
So I am totally making something like this, but a little different, and I hope you guys are going to like it. So I am just so excited for all this inspiration, and I'm so ready for Christmas. I can't wait. If you're a Christmas person, let me know down in the comments.
Totally winging it, okay? I had no idea exactly how to get this towel on here without having 100 different seams. So I just would cut and kind of snip at any of the excess fabric until I got it to where I could pull it really tight. And then I was able to kind of, you know, pull it around where I've only got one seam in the very back that you can actually see, which will be fine because I can just turn this side towards the back and you'll never know it's there. So I just continued to add my hot glue and pull my towel around until I got it super taut. Cut it off. Like I said, just cut off any excess. I glued down that seam just as tight as I could get it. Trying to, you know, keep it from being able to be seen that much, but also, you know, just making sure that everything was glued down really, really well. Now, I cut off the excess at the bottom, and where it had kind of overlapped, I did add some hot glue and then just simply glue that towel straight down to the bottom. And as you can see there, I had taped across the bottom just to fill in that hole. Now, I had these beads that I had picked up at Walmart a long time ago. Now, they have stuff like this in the like jewelry making section all the time. So these were just like, they had little gems on them and then also little pearls. So I just added a little hot glue to the bottom of one of my cones and then simply wrapped my little bead set.
Oh my goodness, I have a feeling this is gonna be seriously so adorable. I am so excited. We don't have to watch the rest of the video. We already know it's cute. Just kidding. No, keep watching. There's more.
For a super simple look, something super clean, super simple. And I believe I kind of got that. Now, I had some gold braided rope, if you will, that I had picked up at Walmart also. And I just glued that to the other cone. I added a little bit more of the pearl and gem.
Jackie's is totally glam compared to mine. Mine is definitely a coastal cottage feel.
No, whatever. I would consider these shabby chic, but not so much that there's, you know, the pink and whatnot. It's just strictly your preference, whatever you want to decorate them with. Now, I took some Arteza bronze acrylic paint and painted one of those candlesticks. And that was just so I could set one of the cones up and then have the other one setting down. That way, they were kind of offset from each other.
These are so adorable. I love the simplicity of it, and really, it doesn't even have to be for Christmas. You could use this for like New Year's. I think this is so cute. I can't wait to make my trees that I have coming up. And now we have Liz. Let's see what she's making today.
Plaster, and I'm going to start painting this 12 by 12 board that I have. You don't necessarily need a piece of wood for this. You could use some poster board if you had it. I just happen to have a piece of wood, so that is what I went with today. I did one rough coat with that. After that, I'm going to take some of my painter's tape and some Waverly black chalk paint, and I just split my board into 3 different sections. I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to do a kind of dry brush technique. I don't want the lines to be fully saturated. I want them to look messy and rustic. And I am just going to drag my brush along each side of that painter's tape on the ends. Now, you don't necessarily need the painter's tape. It just kind of helped me center where exactly I wanted my lines to be.
Straight lines are not my forte, so I will definitely be using some painter's tape.
Most part it worked. I just did the exact same thing, kind of doing a dry brush technique. This was my version of a semi buffalo check kind of sign.
Buffalo check is so adorable, but especially at Christmas.
My sign over and started doing the lines the opposite direction. Again, I just did a line in the middle and then a line on each side. I mostly just used the painter's tape to help give me a bit of a guide and some direction, and to be able to space out my lines evenly. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your lines may not be straight, just like mine, but in the end, it doesn't really even matter with how rustic and messy it looks. I think it looks great. And then I just took my black chalk paint and just went around all of the sides with that. Now I'm going to take this garland that I picked up from Michael's and then this wreath that I got from Hobby Lobby.
I got a package of these 4-inch wreaths off of Amazon and it was a great deal. So definitely check out my Amazon store if you're looking for some little mini wreaths.
Wrapping around all the pieces that were separate. I just wrapped them around so it was just one long garland, and I began attaching it to my wreath. I used some wire to hold everything down. I'm not a huge fan of hot glue when it comes to wreaths because I do like to reuse them, and this is a great project that I could take apart later and use the garland for something separate and then use the wreath for something separate. And then I took some of this berry garland that I got from Hobby Lobby as well, and I just looped that around my entire wreath. I took some of this burlap ribbon that you can also get from Hobby Lobby. I just looped it through the wreath and then hot glued the ends together, and I adjusted where I wanted my wreath to hang on the sign, and then I just hot glued the ribbon to the back of my sign.
Seriously, again, this is so cute. I'm so happy that I found these videos. Obviously, I'm subscribed to all these lovely ladies, so make sure you head down to my description to see the full video for these projects. So cute. Like, I just love it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I love doing the Spotlight Sundays now. I think they're so inspiring and I love sharing with you my favorite crafts for the week. Don't forget to head down in my description to check out my links to connect with me on Instagram and Facebook, as well as my Amazon store and all kinds of fun goodies and coupon codes. I have a lot coming up this season and I'm super excited to share it with you all, so please hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Just kidding. But really, I am so excited and I can't wait to see you again. I hope you have a wonderful evening and a wonderful week coming up.